Welcome to the Artist Chat Room. I'm Natasha Castellan, and the Artist Chat Room is where I talk about my art, my sketchbooks, and my creative processes. So today I have a sketchbook tour that I'm going to do for you of a little sketchbook that fit in my handbag. So let's turn this around and let's get going and having a look inside. Okay, so here we go. This sketchbook is called a Just Art sketchbook, and I've actually, even though I've written here March 25 to August 25, I actually bought this a long time ago when I thought I would be a sketchbook artist, and you can see here it was in March 2017 and this was in Adelaide. I bought it when I was on a holiday with my husband. I actually remember the day I bought this sketchbook, and I drew these drawings at the airport, and I didn't draw in this again. My daughter drew here because I think she thought she would make this her sketchbook, and that didn't happen. But now that I do sketchbooks, I have started now, because I did, not because, but I told you that I started this in Adelaide. What's interesting, Adelaide is a city in South Australia, and this is where my daughter lives, very close to her home in South Australia. I love to go on afternoon walks there. Beautiful scenes, beautiful coast. There's a lovely, what do you call it, little esplanade, and I like to go there and draw. The sunset was just beautiful. It was just, it always is very breathtaking when I go there. These I've used markers and watercolor markers. The kind of paper this is it's cold pressed. Not my favorite paper, but at the same time I've enjoyed drawing in it. This was Waiting at the Airport. This was, obviously, I don't have to tell you what that is. That is the airport. Now we're back to the Gold Coast and we were flying to Sydney. I drew the window on the plane, but took the photo and then later on drew it, because obviously the plane flies by. And I don't know if you can see that. There's the Opera House and Sydney Harbour Bridge. Sydney Harbour is the most beautiful harbour you can imagine. My daughter's house that we stayed at. There's my husband and my son-in-law. They were playing with a drone, a new toy. I have a variegated pencil that I think you've seen me use a few times before. I don't know if you can see this. This was the Amex Lounge. I was not the best drawing, but a drawing that brings me pleasure because of the day we had there. Now, this is probably the hardest drawing I've ever drawn in my sketchbook, and it genuinely really took me a long time to draw, because I tried to get the perspective right, tried to get some people in there, but I'm pretty proud of it. There's something comical about it as well, and kind of, I don't know, cartoony or something, but I do like that. We were going to Phuket. This is Sydney to Phuket, and this was a watercolored pencil, a brown Albertura, forget how to say his name, watercolor pencil. So I drew it in watercolors and then in the pencil, and then got my white water brush and smushed and got those tones in. I like that. Not the best drawing of my husband, but somehow still managed to catch him. Again, a little bit cartoony. So this is when I was in Phuket. There was some kids there, and they also drew in my book. I love this one by Gemma, and she did these little trees, and then that's the reflection of the trees in the water, she was telling me. So we'll quickly get past the kids drawing. While there was a conference on, and we attended some of the sessions with the conference. This is also, the kids were drawing in my book. They actually weren't too bad with that drawing. This is my grandson. He's only 2 years old, and he actually wanted to draw on every single page in my book. In Phuket, they've got this old town, and they had this lovely kind of Portuguese influence, and the buildings were really beautiful and colourful, and it was just lovely to be there. Lots of little scooters around. I really like this particular drawing. I think I used some kind of acrylic brush pens. That's what I used for there, but I can't recall the name of the brand right now because it's upstairs and my husband is currently using my art room to work in today. Again, back at the conference. Actually, I even recognize who this lady is, and I think that was her partner. That's me drawing at the conference. My wrist is a bit little, but it was me drawing my hand, drawing the people in front of me. Then I just doodled because I actually wanted to listen more to what was being said, and when you doodle, you don't engage your brain quite so much. Now we're at the airport leaving, using that same brown water-based pencil. I think I took a photo of this building on my way to the airport and then drew it on the plane. Oh, there's a few things happening here. Oh, some little houses. I actually recall drawing this. I went with Urban Sketches, and that was then, this was like my little warm-up drawing, but I think I must have drawn this at a waiting room. Yes, and then here is from the Urban Sketches, the old schoolhouse. I think that was my favourite drawing of the day. There we go again, watercolours. This was also there at the Urban Sketches. I used that pencil that I was talking about earlier, but I didn't add water to it here. Now I'm back home, and I do not like when I do this and I do it upside down. But yeah, I think I took some free images from the internet and drew them, but obviously put some clothes on this little fella. Life drawings. This was at life drawings. Sometimes I finish quickly and I'm not sure what to do, and that's the model, and that's a gentleman on the other side. Again, I'm not sure if you can see this. I think I was at my sister-in-law's house down south, and that's her sink and looking out her window. She has a cute little window. Yes, this is down there near Port Macquarie. They've got near the beach lots of pelicans, and these I drew later on in from my camera roll. Oh, one day I was here on the Gold Coast, and I had some time to kill and had my book, and I went down to the water's edge and did some drawing. This is the pandanus palm with my variegated. This pencil is different to my normal one. It wasn't variegated. It actually had sides. Each side had its own colour. I'll see if I can find it. So here they are. This is the variegated pencil, and this one is like it's got one side to each colour. And what's really cool about this pencil is it's one pencil for colours, and that's what I did there. So when I wanted the green, I would get on the green side. When I wanted the red, I'd go on the red side. So that's kind of cool. It's a one pencil, four colours kind of activity. And then there's this one. You'll have to excuse my hands. I was painting, and sometimes it's hard to get all the paint out of my fingers and fingernails. This was the brushes that I used to do the little moped that was here earlier, wherever it was. I won't be able to find it now, but you know the one. I'll find it later and show you again. But yeah, this one is what I used here, and I'm spun it around to get different parts of the pencil to make it a little bit more variegated, but then I could choose to just have blue or just have red. It's pretty cool pencil to have. I just had some print of this and I thought I'd give it a go with pastels. I didn't like the way the pastels came. Not particularly fond of this image. This was, I've already shown you guys this when I went plein air painting with my friend. And these were the warm-ups down at the Heritage River Mill. I didn't think much of them at the time, but I do like them now. From a little brochure that came to our house, just was sitting there drawing them, not particularly fond of it. One of my plants, just looking for something to draw, and that was in front of me, so that was kind of fun. I have an original Jonathan Manzinga, and I did that from his work. It's only a small one, I think, 8 by 8 inches, but I love this little doggy. Then from my Eric Koo book, I've done them before, but in a different composition. Again from an Eric Koo, just with a pencil, 2B. This is back at Life Drawings. That's the model here, and that's different people from around the room. Some veggies. Still life, another still life. Outpatients at the hospital waiting for our turn, and then I think I just opened up my Pinterest so that people didn't feel like I was drawing them, and just found images and got my pen out, and I had fun doing these. Almost missed being called. And here I use these again there, and my felt tip pen. Oh, I think maybe I use this gold one. Yeah. Some mushrooms, probably that gold could work in there as well a little bit. And I'm finishing off this book with chairs because that drawing, I don't know when I did that, but I did that a long time ago. When I say long time ago, I mean earlier this year, not a long time ago. And I wanted the last few pages to be chairs. And that's the end of my Just Art sketchbook. I don't like the feel of these pages. I do like hot pressed more, but it wasn't still, it took the materials really well. Oh yeah, that's the one I used these kind of pens with. It takes the material well. It holds the markers, like it's thick enough. It didn't go through. I don't have enough information about this particular sketchbook to tell you. It's just the feel of it that I don't love, but everything else was good. It kind of, because it was not well looked after, it was in my handbag loose and things, it kind of got a bit roughed it up. So I usually like to talk about my favorite drawings. I do love these ones right at the beginning, not that one, but this kind of ones. They're pretty much up there with my favorite. I do like this one. I like the composition of that one, but I'm not sure about anything else. And where was that other one that I really liked? That one was, I didn't tell you, after I did this, I was absolutely exhausted and I couldn't do anything, and we put on a movie and watched a movie. I also like these ones at the back. I thought they were kind of really fun to do. Let me know which ones you enjoyed. I do like them. Well, maybe I like more than I don't like. I like that one as well. All right, I'm going to stop here. If there's one that you really like, let me know. Well, that's another sketchbook tour for you guys. I am working on the Soho Grey Brick sketchbook. It's got this lovely grey colour. And when I say lovely grey colour, I'm really not finding it that lovely at all. I think it's a great colour. I'm not saying it's a bad colour. I'm just not very used to it. But it's really good to do things that are out of our normal kind of processes and see how different things work. I've enjoyed this sketchbook very much. I've got some really really fond memories in here as well, which is really nice about our time in Phuket, going on location and drawing and different kind of things like that. I am not very good at talking today. Had a lot of things happening. I've had some treatment done to my eyes, which have given me a lot of headaches. I've got a wedding coming up in about 8 days' time, and everything is going crazy in my house at the moment. So I'm not all there. So do apologize if I'm not my usual self here today. I hope you enjoyed the sketchbook tour. If you can, think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't. But I'd actually really love to hear from you. And you don't have to tell me just what your favorite sketch is from here, but I'd love to hear, what do you like to draw? Because if it's different from me, it could give me some ideas. And the other thing I thought I'd really love to hear, if you're someone who is going to comment, let me know where you live, what city you are. That would be really cool for me to kind of know where you are, because you know that I'm here on the Gold Coast. So I'll say thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye for now.